It was at this point we seriously had to contemplate whether we could even carry on.
This was one of the most desperate points, not just our van life in Europe, but our lives. We really had reached an overwhelming low point.
Even thinking about it now, it's making me emotional. I'm Emma and he's Stu, and these are our plucky offspring.
If you've just joined us on our channel, then last year we waved goodbye to the cold and dreary UK and swapped it for sun, sand and engine problems with our new van life in Europe.
We upped stick from our old lives because we thought that our children were missing out on their education and really not learning enough about this big, beautiful blue planet.
That's right, so we thought, why not take them across Europe and beyond and show them the real world, and not just from some stupid book.
We have been travelling around in our palace on wheels. Bessie, she is such a reliable girl.
We have taken her into places that she definitely shouldn't be going to, and occasionally I like to drive her off things or into things.
So far we've explored France, Spain, Portugal, and even a little cheeky stop off in Andorra. We have had a blast and we are firmly on board with living in a van.
After spending some time in the UK because of the Schengen rules, we're about to embark on our biggest adventure so far. Our next series of family travel vlogs will take us to Africa and the exotic Morocco. The mission is to drive Betty from Devon in England all the way through France and into Spain to catch the 33-hour-long ferry from Barcelona to Tangier.
Our objective was to drive to the Sahara Desert and visit two key locations, Mohammed and Mazouga. Both are deep in the Sahara on the Algerian border. We will of course explore Morocco along the way and check out what this breathtaking country has to offer. In this video, we left the port at Dover on a cold, foggy afternoon after having to catch a later ferry due to an accident on the M20. Typical. We had given ourselves about a week to go through France and take a somewhat leisurely drive down, as it was about 16 hours from Calais, if you're avoiding the French toll roads, that is.
Perfect plan, you could say. But things didn't quite go according to plan at all, and we were about to have the worst experience of our van life in Europe to date. We have encountered some more vehicle problems. We are currently sat in a place called Wally Bocam, and our issue from before on the ferry, the gear problem, wasn't
Transmission.
it? Yeah, the transmission fault has come back up, and this time it's a little bit more aggressive. What it does is it stops us from changing gear. We can continue driving, but we are locked into the gear that we're currently in, which is not necessarily a problem when you're on a nice straight road and there's no roundabouts.
We've hit a lot of roundabouts since then, and also on the motorway we were okay, but then when it dropped down gear we couldn't get back out.
And also, we're, to top it off now, we've got like a check glow plugs warning light come on, so we're having a bit of fun. We also need to get a load of water because we haven't got any water.
No water. We need to charge up.
So yesterday we took the ferry over and we're planning on filling up the other side, so we left with plenty of time, but there was a massive accident on the M20.
The M20 was shut for an hour.
Yeah,
so we missed our ferry, and then by the time we came over, the places we knew would be open on a Sunday were closed because it was after 6, so we couldn't fill up as we had planned. Great start so far.
Pretty crap couple of days, really. So we're kind of in a bit of a quandary here what we do, because we managed to limp to a garage this morning. They've got no space until next week. Now, the time pressure of the whole situation is we're meant to be travelling to Morocco on Friday. We don't want to lose that booking because it was quite expensive, the ferry ride from Barcelona to Morocco. So we need to get a move on with it. And annoyingly, we got it serviced as well. So we did something good for the vehicle, and actually since we've had it serviced, it's had loads of problems, so I don't know what that means.
We've got two choices. One is go north for an hour to a garage he suggested, which is back towards Calais, or go south, which is getting further towards Morocco, which is an hour. So we're really stuck whichever way we go,
but
it's an hour.
The difference is as well, like Valence-sur-Mer is
It's
like small and there's one garage, whereas in Rouen there seems to be like 4 or 5 different theatre garages. So like we kind of need to get there. We don't mind waiting a couple of days because we can get to Morocco. We could do it in a day if we needed to. Like we could do the drive. It's a long drive. It's about 17 hours.
We've got to check our Schengen days as well, just to add to the mix.
So yeah, we don't want to go too far because if we need to get back to the UK, because we've got to get out of the Schengen thing. So yeah, pretty tricky really. What we've done is we had a great time before and we've enjoyed it, and we feel like we were starting to, you know, get the hang of this kind of van life in Europe. So what we decided is we decided to put van life into hard mode, because that's effectively what we're dealing with now. We've got visa potential problems, we've got time limits for ferries, we've got vehicle problems, you know, so we're just playing on hard mode now. We managed to park ourselves up in kind of just a bit of concrete, unused concrete outside a abandoned building. And so we've gone to the garage and we've had a look and spoke to a lady there. Obviously they don't speak English, fair enough, but she has pointed us out to a different place. So this place we can't get in because it's like 3 meters, it's too high to get through the shutters. So the other place is across town, which means we're gonna have to drive through Rouen again with crawling gears only, so first, second and third, and we're gonna have to go across town, hopefully before rush hour, because otherwise we are just gonna cause carnage. So yeah, so we're not solved yet, we're still trying to figure out what we're doing, but yeah, this is a bigger place. This is like their main distribution, so hopefully they'll be able to get us in and we can hopefully get these gears sorted. So, but yeah, another stressful period of driving ahead, and we've also got to get out of here as well. I mean, it's not exactly the easiest place to get out of because we just chucked it in here at the last minute, but we've got to walk out onto this busy road which has got bus lanes on, and we can only reverse out of here. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting journey across town. So while all this has been going on and we've had multiple problems with our gears, kids, what have you been up to?
We've been doing our Harry Potter quizzes.
So they've been doing their sorting hats for Harry Potter.
I'm in Hufflepuff with a Manx Patrol.
And what house are you all in?
I've been Hufflepuff for a year, and I've got a large wand.
And you're a Hufflepuff as well. And you, Woody, what are you?
A Hufflepuff.
We have, of course, done the sorting hat because, you know, that's the kind of parents we are. And, well, you haven't done it, have you, Em?
Not yet.
Okay.
And Daddy's a Gryffindor.
Gryffindor, baby.
Daddy's.
Just got to work out what Em is. She's probably a Slytherin.
Probably.
No, and Em, so. Okay, back to proper stuff, fixing gears and getting Betty on the road. We needed to check first whether they could A, carry out the work, and B, if they could do the work this week. So Em, being the most qualified French speaker out of all of us, had to call up their reception. It was difficult enough explaining our vehicle problems in English, so doing it in French was a blooming nightmare.
Just finding somebody who can speak English.
I've got the English woman on the phone. The transduction.
Transduction? What's transduction?
Translation.
Is it?
Transduction.
Translation.
No.
Ah.
How little she knows. Oui.
Oh, right, she's just put me on hold a little.
Just hang up the phone.
We're just going to be crawling.
It is what it is, and I can't go any faster.
We've got our hazards on, we're going up the road. Hopefully they'll be able to look at it, at least give us some idea of what the problem is, some idea of that they'll be able to fix it.
Yeah, I don't mind staying here for 10 days, I want to do mine, but
Yeah, it wouldn't be our first choice, but if they can fix it.
They can say, look, we can get it fixed, but we have to say, look, we've got to live in it, we need to stay here, like in it, and we need to go somewhere with electricity because we can't survive without electricity and water.
We have got an adapter plug, thankfully, so if worst comes to worst, we can plug into a normal plug.
Just going to turn this. See what I'm actually doing.
We'll just have to see what we can see, really, and fingers crossed. He was very, very helpful with my broken French, his broken English, and
Yeah.
we got there in the end. So we're on our way. Go, 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 go.
We got to the garage and managed to get Betty into the servicing parking. The guys at the garage were incredibly helpful and really tried their best to explain, even though they didn't speak English. Google Translate is our new best friend.
They took one look at that gearbox and the engine and they knew straight away the gearbox was completely knackered. They said they would get the parts in 10 days. No good for us, but there was a possibility they could use a part that was reserved for another customer, which they would use if their customer would let us have it due to the nature of our sticky situation.
They effectively needed to strip out the entire gearing system and replace everything. The transmission fluid had started turning black and hadn't been changed recently. Even though we had just had it serviced, it was going to take 10 hours for 2 guys to strip out the gears and replace the parts and then carry out the tests.
It was also going to cost us an unbelievable amount of money. A seriously unbelievable amount of money. A seriously, serious, unbelievable amount of money.
And this was something that we hadn't anticipated in any of our budgets or savings. It was thousands upon thousands.
It was at this point we seriously had to contemplate whether we could even carry on.
This was one of the most desperate points, not just our van life in Europe, but our lives. We really had reached an overwhelming low point.
Even thinking about it now is making me emotional.
We didn't film in the evening as we were just so emotionally exhausted, and we had to have some serious conversations about whether we could even carry on. We were able to park up outside the garage for the evening and they gave us an electrical hookup so we could charge our batteries, but tomorrow was another day and that is just what we had to keep telling each other.
Please
So,
look like.
very early morning
Very
start, 6:30 start.
Very noisy night.
So we've got 2 guys that are coming in. They started at like 6:30 this morning and they're going to be doing an 8-hour shift, probably slightly longer,
On our behalf.
to get this gearbox installed. We don't know what time. We're hoping that it'll be done today and then we can be on the road, but you know, all bets are off at this stage. So we're at the bus stop and we are going to get the bus into Rouen. How are you feeling?
Yeah.
Tired? Hungry?
Yeah.
I promised them all some croissants, so I think that's what we need in our lives. The machine's not working on the bus, and do you know what? We're unlucky in a lot of things, but we are definitely lucky when it comes to bus tickets, because it's the 3 times as this happened to us.
Taken a chilled day in Rouen whilst they finished the work on Betty, and it helped to take the edge off our emotions.
Yeah, we came to the conclusion that we just needed to keep going on the trip, and that this was just one of those very, very, very unfortunate and unlucky challenges we're going to have to face if we stick with this lifestyle and living in a van full time.
We didn't expect to have something this catastrophic so early on, especially as our vehicle came from what we understood to be a reputable dealer.
Either way, we are not quitters and we just couldn't give up. It's one of those points in life where this will end up being some valuable lesson for us and for our children. But you know, nomaders don't quit, yo.
After a walk round Rouen, it was time for us to head back to the garage and pick up Betty. We even managed to flag down a lift.
Hey! We've stolen Betty! We've stolen it! You ready? Let's give him a wave.
Come.
Bonjour! It's okay?
Catching a lift back in Betty.
is very nice.
Is it?
I'm pretending to have my seatbelt. I don't think I do.
After signing our lives away and paying a small fortune to the garage for fixing the gears, we were back on the road again, and we really needed to get a shifty on.
We had about 15 hours and 1,200 kilometres to get to Barcelona and 1 day to do it in. So we had to dig deeper into the well and pull out a massive effort to get to the ferry port.
Stuck in traffic again. We had a few errands to run before heading off to catch the ferry, like dropping off the drone into a storage place and getting some last minute supplies from our favourite shop, Mercadona. So we're going to get our last minute bits now, you know, get the old vino in before we go, get ourselves all prepped. You excited to be in Spain, Sky?
Yeah. What we're having for dinner is pizza, my favourite food. We've got loads of food and we've got some water too, and all of this.
FYI. Yeah, we've got this.
So taking a drone into Morocco is illegal, and you can have the device confiscated indefinitely on the way into the port. We chose to leave our drone in a separate storage place in Barcelona instead of leaving it at the port.
After parking up somewhere near the docks, we had an early night before getting up at 4 AM to drive to the port. A few more trucks now parked up. I'm glad we got here early because it does seem to be like it's going to get pretty busy down here. And Barcelona's awake now, so traffic is mental. But yeah, so far so good. We still need to figure out the ticket office bit, but I don't think they're open till 9, so we'll go and check them out in a bit. So just had some cramming in the sardines into the can.
Isn't it true?
Yeah, pretty tight. So there's a... Yeah, it's all pretty tight in here, so... and some of the cars have got like burn marks on them and bits missing, so yeah, I mean, I don't think they're quite so worried about their vehicles, but obviously we're a little bit worried about ours, you know, especially as we've just had to replace a massive part of the engine.
Hello. Hello.
Who's excited about going to Morocco?
Hey, I know I want to be warm, but I
You
don't
kind
want
of, what else are you feeling?
scared and worried. My tummy said no going.
There's
I'm gonna wait and hide somewhere.
Go on then, go hide somewhere else. For anyone who's decided to take the ferry from Barcelona to Tangier, it's not abundantly clear what you need to do. So what you need to do is when you get here, you'll get a check-in. The check-in will get stamped at the gate as you come in, and then what they don't tell you, which is what you should do, is you need to go and take the check-in document out of the compound, the compound with the gates that you've just driven in, and then you need to go to the ticket office, and in the ticket office they'll print your tickets, and then you need to come back. But they don't tell you that. The ticket office opens at 9 o'clock. Yeah, so it's not very clear. We've been online and stuff, and it's still not very clear on there, but just for anyone who decides to take that ferry, then that's what you need to do. And it is like borderline chaos behind me with the unloading, we think, of the Moroccan ferry coming from Tangier, and they're checking pretty much every vehicle. So yeah, we've got all this to look forward to when we come back the other side, but that is a problem for 5-week later nomaders, and not the nomaders today, so we won't worry about that.
The boat was not as bad as we were expecting.
I think in our heads we had like visions of some Michael Palin adventure and us being crowded onto a very basic ship with loads of chickens running around.
While it was definitely different to the Channel crossing ferries, it turns out it pretty much had everything you needed, even a cinema, although that wasn't working.
I can barely see Barcelona.
So we're thinking the boat's not actually that busy at the minute, which is quite good because there's plenty of space to walk around, isn't there?
I think there might be people in their cabins, but certainly the number that went on, I don't think it's...
Oh, what's in here, kids? Oh, let's have a look in here. I think we found the kids' room. There's clearly no kids on board.
So, you shouldn't talk of this.
I don't know if they're on, buddy.
Oh, we can't do anything.
Yeah, but you know what you can do? You can count all the fish on the wall.
No.
That seems like a really fun exercise for about 33 hours, doesn't it?
No.
And do you know what you can do when you finish counting them?
Count them again.
Count them again, you got it. You got it. Another little tidbit of information for you. If you're brought a vehicle on this boat, and it doesn't say really anywhere on the websites, what you have to do before you get to Morocco is you have to declare your vehicle. You have to go to the customs at the back of the boat and get your passport and your vehicle registration document, and you have to go and see them and get the vehicle basically imported into Morocco, because that's effectively what you're doing. But it's not very clear. But I'll tell you one thing that you're definitely going to need on this boat is one of these bad boys, because you've got forms to fill in, and there's no pens out. So if you get stuck, do what we did, just go to the bar and ask a pen there, and they'll give you their pen. The time didn't even seem like it was dragging. The kids loved the ferry trip, and we would definitely recommend the ferry if, like us, you've already toured Spain and don't want the hassle of driving for circa 20 hours along the Spanish coast again.
In terms of cost, the ferry was €874 from Barcelona to Tangier and €762 for the return trip. So the amount we would have spent on fuel, additional park-up costs, we felt was almost comparable.
But at least this way we didn't need to drive all that way through Spain, and after our ordeal in France we really needed to charge our batteries, especially as the real adventure was about to begin once we docked in Morocco. We were about to leave van life Europe behind and start van life in Morocco.
Thanks to you amazing people for taking the time to watch our first video of this new series. Don't forget to hit the like button and press subscribe, and press the bell button to receive a notification when our next video will drop. We have loved having you along for the ride. As always,
See you soon,
and safe travels.